Next topic is applications of monostable multi-vibrator. So these are all the applications of the monostable multi-vibrator. One is a pulse width modulator, and second one is a frequency divider. Third one is a pulse stretching, and fourth one is the linear ramp generator, and fifth one is a missing pulse detector. These are all the some of the applications of the monostable multi-vibrator. So those applications are pulse width modulator, frequency divider, pulse stretching, linear ramp generator, and missing pulse detector. So first we will see about the pulse width modulator. So this is the circuit to generate a pulse width modulator using monostable multivibrator by using the IC 555. Okay, so we already know we in order to convert IC 555 into the monostable operation, we will connect a resistor between the VCC to the 6th and 7th pin combination and a capacitor between this node to ground terminal. Okay, and the third pin will be the output, second pin will be the trigger input, and the fifth pin will be the control signal or control voltage. So in order to make it as a pulse width modulator, we are going to give the sequence of pulse, the pulse train to the trigger, and the modulating signal or information signal will be given to the control pin of our 555 IC, which is the fifth pin of our IC. Then we can get the pulse width modulated output from the pin number 3. Okay, so we are going to apply our modulating signal or the message signal to the control signal, and the carrier signal or the pulse train will be given to the trigger. Therefore, if you see, the second pin was given with the carrier signal or the train of pulses has been given to the pin number 2, and the modulating signal or information signal is given to the fifth pin of our IC, which is a control voltage, which is the control voltage. So based on this modulating signal amplitude, our output voltage will be have the different duty cycles, will be have different duty cycles like this. Therefore we can say it is a pulse width modulation. Whenever the input voltage is in the increasing order, then the width of the pulse also increases. When the input voltage is in the decreasing order, then the pulse width also decreasing, and here again it is in increasing order, the pulses are also increasing its width. Therefore we can say it is working like a pulse width modulator. We can use the monostable multivibrator as a pulse width modulator by just giving the carrier signal to the second pin and the modulating signal to the fifth pin. Okay, and the next application is frequency divider. So here the frequency divider circuit, the same monostable multivibrator we can use, and the trigger pulse has been given with the signal which is need to be divided, which is given to the trigger pulse. Okay, and the R and C values of the monostable multivibrator are selected that time period of RC is greater than the input pulse time period. Okay, here the input pulse time period is this one, on period plus off period, which is a capital T, and the time taken by the R and C components in the monostable multivibrator, which means that the quasi-stable state of the monostable multivibrator is taken greater than the time period of the input signal. Therefore T is less than the small t. Therefore, up to this cycle, up to this edge, our monostable multivibrator will not be triggered. Here if you see, when the negative going signal arises, then it will triggers the monostable multivibrator into the quasi-stable state. So from the stable state to quasi-stable state, it will increases its output, it will change its output. So Again we got one negative going signal or negative edge here, but at this point of time our output is still in the quasi-stable state, so that it won't change its state at this time because the quasi-stable state is already running, therefore it will neglect this time. Thereafter, after some time, this quasi-stable state of our monostable multivibrator is ended, and then it will enter into the stable state of 0. Now again, if we have the negative going edge at the input, then this edge will triggers the output to the quasi-stable state. Okay, therefore the time between these changes is equal to 2 times the input time period. Okay, if you see, this is the one time period, on period plus off period is equal to one time period, and here also one on period and one off period is there, which is forms the second time period. Okay, so this 2t, the output signal has the time period of 2t, therefore we can say the time period is doubled. Therefore, what happens to the frequency? F is equal to 1 by t. Here t is becoming as 2t. Therefore, f is equal to 1 by 2t, which is f by 2. Okay, the frequency will be divided if it happens like that. Okay, so our circuit can act like a frequency divider. Next application is a linear ramp generator. Linear ramp generator. Linear ramp generated by the circuit shown in the below figure. So this is the 555 IC linear ramp generator. So here only one change is the resistor which is connected between the VCC to the capacitor has been replaced with the constant current source. This this transistor and this R1 and R2 resistor combination, which forms the constant current source, and this capacitor is going to be charged through the constant current source. That's why it will generate a ramp. Normally the capacitor will charge exponentially, but if the capacitor is charging through a constant current source, then it will generate a ramp. It will charge in the form of ramp. See, the resistor R of the monostable multivibrator is replaced by a constant current source. The capacitor is charged linearly by the constant current source formed by the transistor Q3 in the circuit. The capacitor voltage Vc can be written as Vc is equal to 1 by C integral 0 to t I dt, where I is the current flowing in the current supplied by the constant current source here. So here Vc is the charge, okay, the voltage across the capacitor, which is equal to 1 by C integral 0 to t I dt, where I is the current supplied by the constant current source. Further, the KVL equation can be written as R1 by R1 plus R2 into VCC minus VBE is equal to beta plus 1 into IBRC. So here 1 plus beta can be treated as beta, therefore it becomes beta into IBRE, which is equal to beta times of IB is equal to IC into RE, which is nothing but IRE. Okay, so now substitute the value of current I in the above equation. We can write it as Vc is equal to, so in the Vc equation we can substitute the value of current, so which is equal to R1 into VCC minus VBE into R1 plus R2 by CRE into R1 plus R2 into T. Okay, so at the time t is equal to capital T, the capacitor voltage Vc will be becomes to the 2 by 3 Vcc, which is the maximum voltage charged by the capacitor. Then we can get the 2 by 3 Vcc is equal to R1 Vcc minus VBE R1 plus R2 divided by RE into R1 plus R2 into C into T. Okay, because the small t is equal to capital T, we assumed, which gives the time period of the linear ramp generated as T is equal to 2 by 3. If you rearrange the equation to get the T is equal to 2 by 3 VCC into RE into R1 plus R2 into C divided by R1 VCC minus VBE into R1 plus R2. Okay, this is the input trigger and the output ramp generator, okay, which is the voltage across the capacitor. So when we apply the trigger, the capacitor will charge like this, okay. So it will charges like a ramp, it will generate the ramp at the output side. This is about the linear ramp generator. Whenever we want this type of ramp signal, then we can use the monostable multivibrator as a ramp generator. Next, we are going to see about the astable multivibrator using IC 555, which is one of the important topic in our subject. So, this monostable multivibrator and astable multivibrator and their applications also very important topics. So, here astable multivibrator can be designed using the IC 555 as the sixth and second pin. Sixth and second pins are going to be joined here. So the sixth pin is a threshold and the second pin will be the trigger. So in astable multivibrator, what is astable multivibrator? Astable multivibrator does not have any stable state. It contains the two quasi-stable state and the output will switches in the two quasi-stable states, so that the second pin and the sixth pin are going to be joined here and then given to a capacitor C, and fifth pin, which is a control voltage, is given to the one capacitor which is given to the ground terminal 0.01 microfarad, and the seventh pin is given to the RB resistor. So from the VCC to the capacitor we have two resistors RA, RB, and RB is connected to the seventh pin, okay, which is the discharge pin. So this is a circuit for the astable multivibrator which generates a square wave. We have already seen which generates a square wave. No stable state, as it is the astable multivibrator. It does not have any stable state. It has the two quasi stable states. This is the black diagram for the astable multivibrator using the IC 555. So here from the VCC to the capacitor we have two resistors RA, RB and C. Okay, so these RA ending and RB starting has been given to the collector of the transistor QD. Okay, and the comparators, upper comparator, lower comparator, and the flip flop, and the flip flop Q bar is the output and the Q is the input for the transistor. Let us see the operation of astable multivibrator using IC 555. So initially we are assuming the capacitor is in the charging state. At that time the Q is equal to 0 and Q bar is equal to 1. We are assuming that the output is in the logic 1 level. Therefore, the Q is equal to 0. This Q is equal to 0 makes the transistor to turn off. Okay. Therefore, this capacitor C will start charging from the VCC to RA, RB and then C. Okay. This capacitor is charging through the resistors RA and RB. Okay, and this capacitor voltage is given to the second pin as well as the sixth pin of our 555 IC, and the sixth pin is the threshold voltage of the upper comparator and the second pin is the trigger voltage of the comparator 2. Okay, so if the voltage stored in the capacitor, this capacitor is started charging linearly like this. When the voltage is reaches to the 2 by 3 VCC, when the voltage across the capacitor reaches to the 2 by 3 VCC, then what happened? This 2 by 3 volts is directly given to the upper comparator non-inverting terminal. Whenever the voltage is greater than the 2 by 3 VCC, even 1 point greater than the 2 by 3 VCC, then the voltage applied at a non-inverting terminal is greater than the inverting terminal voltage 2 by 3 VCC, which is already given at the inverting terminal. Okay, so whenever the capacitor charged voltage is just greater than this 2 by 3 VCC, upper comparator will set, which means that upper comparator output is the plus V saturation, and this plus V saturation will set the flip flop, and Q is equal to 1, Q bar is equal to 0. Output goes to logic 0, and this Q is equal to 1 will switch on the transistor. When the transistor switch on, this capacitor will have the discharge path. Therefore, this capacitor will discharges in this way. So, C is discharging to ground through the resistor RB and the transistor QD, discharge transistor. Okay. So, in the last monostable multivibrator, we does not have any discharge resistor, and the discharge path does not have any resistances. Therefore, it was directly discharged to ground 0 volts. But now it is discharging through the resistor RB. So discharging is also exponential discharging. And when compared with the charging time, the charging is through RA RB resistors. That's why the charging time is more than the discharging time. Discharging is going to be done through RB resistor only. So whenever it is discharging, the voltage across the capacitor is given to the second pin, which is the trigger pin of our 555 IC, which is nothing but the inverting terminal of our comparator. This comparator to non-inverting terminal is given with the voltage of 1/3 VCC. Whenever the capacitor discharging voltage reaches to 1/3 VCC, okay, na, less than 1/3 VCC, then this voltage applied at the inverting terminal is less than the voltage applied at non-inverting terminal. Okay, so this discharging reached to 1/3 VCC, 1 point less than 1/3 VCC. Then at the second comparator or lower comparator, the voltage at non-inverting terminal will be greater than the inverting terminal. Therefore, the second comparator will switches. Okay, switches on, and the output will be the plus V saturation. This plus V saturation will be given to the reset of our flip flop. Therefore, reset means Q is equal to 0, Q bar is equal to 1. Again, our output will go to the plus VCC, and this Q is equal to 0 makes the transistor to off, and then the capacitor will start charging towards the VCC through the resistors RA and RB. Again, if the charging voltage is reaches to the 2 by 3 VCC, then upper comparator sets and the output will go to 0. Okay, again, when the discharging voltage will reaches to the 1/3 VCC, lower comparator will sets and the output will be 1, and the capacitor will start the charging. Okay, this is the operation continuously work. Okay, so that's why it is called as a stable multivibrator, and the stable multivibrator output is a square wave. Okay, without giving any external trigger inputs, this is working, and this circuit is generating the square wave without giving any input. This circuit is generating the square wave, and the voltage across the capacitor is a linear or exponential charging and discharging curve. The threshold input is connected to the trigger input, and two external resistors RA, RB, and a capacitor C is used in the circuit. If you see the output waveforms of the stable multivibrator, this is the voltage or waveform across the capacitor. So linearly charging. Okay, here see exponential charging rate via RA and RB, and the discharging through RB resistor only, so that we can observe the charging time is more than the discharging time. So when the capacitor is in charging state, output will be plus VCC. When the capacitor is in discharging time, output will be 0. We can say it is T on and T off. This is the output of our stable multivibrator. And now we are going to see about the duty cycle of this one and the frequency of oscillations, that time period also. The charging time constant is greater than the discharging time constant because we have already seen the charging is through RA and RB and discharging through RB resistor only. That's why the charging time is greater than the discharging time. Hence, the output waveform is not symmetric. The duty cycle, it is defined as the ratio of on time, that is high output to the total time of one cycle, on time plus off time. W is the time for the output is high, which is called T on, and T is the time of one cycle. Then the duty cycle D is equal to W by T. W by T. W is the on time divided by the total time T. So which is always expressed in the percentage format. That's why duty cycle percentage is equal to W by T into 100. The charging time for the capacitor is given by Tc. The charging time is equal to 0.693 into Ra plus Rb into C, while the discharging time is given by Td is equal to 0.693 into Rb into C. Hence, the time for one cycle is given as T is equal to the charging time plus discharging time. Tc plus Td is equal to 0.693 into Ra plus Rb into C plus 0.693 into RBC, which is equal to 0.693 Ra plus 2Rb into C. That is the time period of the output waveform. And the duty cycle D is equal to W by T, which is equal into 100, that is equal to 0.693 into Ra plus Rb into C divided by 0.693 into Ra plus 2RbC into 100. And then we can say this 0.693 and 0.693 will get cancelled. The duty cycle percentage is equal to Ra plus Rb by Ra plus 2Rb into 100. While the frequency of oscillations are given by f is equal to 1 by time period, which is 1 by 0.693 into Ra plus 2Rb into C. Therefore, the frequency of oscillations f is equal to 1 by 0.693 can be written as 1.44, 1.44 or 1.45 divided by Ra plus 2Rb into C hertz. This is the frequency of oscillations for the stable multi-vibrator. 1.44 divided by Ra plus 2Rb into C hertz. Okay, so the total time period is given by 0.693 into Ra plus 2Rb into C. These two values are very important. Let us see some of the applications of astable multivibrator using IC555. The various applications of astable multivibrator using IC555 are square wave generation, FSK generator, and voltage controlled oscillator. These three are the main applications of the astable multivibrator. So the square wave generator we have already seen in the last class, and the FSK generator and voltage controlled oscillator we will see in this unit. Okay, so let us see one problem. A 555 timer is configured to run in astable mode with Ra is equal to 4 kilo ohms, Rb is equal to 4 kilo ohms, and C is equal to 0.01 microfarad. Determine the F0, the frequency of oscillations, and the duty cycle. So for the solution, the frequency of output is given by F is equal to what? 1.44 or 1.45 divided by Ra plus 2Rb into C. So here 1.44 divided by Ra plus 2Rb. Ra is 4, Rb is 2, Rb is also 4. 4 plus 2 into 4 into 10 cube, because it is in kilo ohms, into C is in microfarad, 0.01 into 10 power minus 6. Therefore, the operating frequency is 12 kilohertz. And the duty cycle is given by D is equal to Ra plus Rb by Ra plus 2Rb. Therefore, which is equal to 4 plus 4 by 4 plus 2 into 4, which is 0.667, which means that 66.67 percentage. Okay, because the duty cycle has to represent in always percentage only. So let us see some of the applications of the astable multivibrator, which is the FSK generator. FSK. What is FSK? Frequency shift keying, one of the modulation technique. So FSK generator, this is the circuit for the FSK generator. Here you can observe is RA, RBC, and this entire circuit is astable multivibrator. The only change here is a transistor and RC is added in parallel with the RA resistor. Okay, in parallel with RA, we have a transistor Q1 and a resistor RC. Okay, so when the input is at logic 1, when the input, this is the input signal for the FSK modulator. So if the input reader is at logic 1, the transistor Q1 is in off state. Okay, the transistor Q1 will be in off state because it is a PNP type of transistor. For the positive voltage, the Q1 will off. Okay, under the condition that 555 timer works in its normal mode as the astable multivibrator. So we can neglect this entire circuit and this astable multivibrator will run its specified frequency given by the RA, RB and C, which is F naught is equal to 1.45 divided by RA plus 2RB into C. So in the last derivation it was given as 1.44, both are same, only 1 point change, right? So 1.45 divided by RA plus 2RB into C. But when the input is at logic 0, the Q1 will be on. When the Q1 on, because for the 0 volts or a negative voltage, the Q1 will on because it is a PNP type of transistor. Therefore, as the Q1 is on, it will be saturated and works like a switch. Therefore, the resistor RC will get added in parallel with the RA. Therefore, the frequency of oscillations F naught is equal to 1.45 divided by here RA rate, here RA parallel RC plus 2RB into C. Okay, then we can say RA in parallel with the RC. That is the only change, and the frequency got changed here because so the value of RA parallel RC may increase or decrease the frequency of operation. Okay, so based on the input signal logic 1 or 0, when the logic 1 it will run in its own frequency. When the input is equal to 0, it will run in the specific frequency. Therefore, for 1 and 0 has the different frequencies. Therefore, that modulated output is called as frequency shift keying modulation. Okay, FSK generator. In this way, we can use the astable multivibrator for FSK generation. Next, we will see about the Smith trigger is one of the application of the astable multivibrator. The Smith trigger converts the sine wave into the square wave. Okay, the Smith trigger can convert the sine wave into square wave. So this is the circuit for this Smith trigger using IC 555. Here only change is this second and sixth pin combination is given with the input signal, input sinusoidal signal through a capacitor C. As we are using the capacitor C, only the AC signals will be enter into the sixth and second pins. Okay, so here if you see this sinusoidal signal is the input signal which is applied to the second and sixth pins. Okay, so based on these second and sixth pins, we will get the square wave at the output. Based on the input signal voltage, if the input signal is greater than the 2 by 3 VCC, output will be the positive VCC. Okay, output will be the VCC. If the input signal of this sine wave is less than 1 by 3 VCC, then the output will switches to the 0 volts. Okay, again when the input reaches to the 2 by 3 VCC, then the output will switch to plus VCC like that. Therefore, we can say it is converting the sine wave into the square wave based on this applied sine wave at the sixth and second pins of our Smith trigger. Okay, in the next class we are going to see about the phase locked loops.